First, double-click the session proc and drag a list object onto the procedure. Next, right-click on the list object and rename it to Design List. Double-click on the design list to open it up. First thing we're going to do is add 3 attributes. So click on the double arrow pointing to the right and add 3. And we're going to rename each attribute, the first being condition, the next stimulus, and correct response. Click on the down arrow to add another row. Now type trial proc under the procedure attribute to add a new procedure. Click yes, and click yes again. Now type trial proc in row 2 as well. Now we're going to fill in the condition attribute. We'll name the top one word and the bottom one non-word. Next, enter in the stimuli, cat in row 1 and jop in row 2. Next, we'll enter the correct response for each trial. 1 will be the correct response for a word, and 2 the correct response for a non-word. Now, click on the trial proc procedure and add 2 text displays. Rename the first text display to fixation and the second text display to probe. Double-click on the fixation text display and add a plus sign for the fixation cross. Now go to the property pages and click on the duration tab. Ensure that the duration says 1000 milliseconds and press OK. Now double-click on the probe text box and click on the property pages. Enter the word stimulus within square brackets into the text display box. The square brackets tells E' to look for the stimulus attribute in our design list. In this case, the text will read cat or jop depending on the trial. Now click on the duration input tab and change the duration to 2000 milliseconds and add the keyboard as an input device. Change the allowable keyboard response to 1 and 2 and type correct response within square brackets next to the correct heading. The square brackets tells E' to look under the correct response attribute in our design list to determine the correct response for each trial. In this case, the correct response to a word will be 1, and the correct response to a non-word will be 2. Change the data logging from None to Standard and click OK. Next, create a new folder in your desired location and save your experiment. Finally, run the experiment to make sure it's working properly.